So the process that I use is pretty short. So the first thing that I would do would be to establish a baseline. And that's just basically speaking with the team as far as the expectations, whether that's for timeline, the scope, and just what exactly is being analyzed in the moment. The next step would be basically just implementing the vulnerability assessment, where I would scan servers, web applications, anything that the organization or the team would want assessed. And then upon the completion of the assessment, I would then go into the risk assessment, where we would categorize the different vulnerabilities and the different findings, and kind of create a strategic plan on how to mitigate and to complete or to address the findings of the assessment. Then we would also go into remediation, where we would address any of those vulnerabilities, whether that would be patching, whether that would be updating the version of a software. And then upon the completion of remediation, we would go into verification, where we would just pretty much validate and verify that all of the practices that have been put in place are actually working. And then once we complete the verification, I would then go into just monitoring, whether that would be firewalls, intrusion protection systems, intrusion detection systems, or any CM tool. So for me, that would kind of be the thought process behind my vulnerability analysis. So the CEH course just honestly just gave me insight on how hackers think, and the different malicious attack vectors that they use against organizations or people in general. And it just kind of allowed me to learn those different skills, or learn those different methods, to be able to better position myself and the organization that I work for, and to be able to provide a secure structure, and to be able to give my insight on how to strengthen our infrastructure. I think especially in these times, with a lot of ransomware attacks that are happening right now, a lot of the different type of attacks that we've seen against companies, I think it's very essential. I think that is a baseline that companies providing, or e-commerce companies who do business over the internet should have, because it's not only detrimental to the organization itself, but it's also detrimental to those customers and those clients in their data as well. So to be able to, one, get an understanding as the company where you stand secure-wise as far as your network goes, and to be able to be in tune with everything that is going on in the world, all of the different potential attack vectors and methods, and to be able to take that knowledge in and to be able to apply it in a way to where you're able to provide a defense for your company would save you a lot of money. And that could be a lot of money, whether that's avoiding ransomware attacks, or that could also be along the lines of not being sued for having data breaches. So the benefits would just be to be able to, one, know as an organization where you stand, to know that you have placed yourself and your organization in the strongest position possible. I believe that having knowledge is essential. Having knowledge and knowing where your company is and how they're structured network-wise, and to know that you do have those tools in place to prevent or mitigate as many potential vulnerabilities and attacks as possible. And it just, just gives you a peace of mind to know that I have put all of the different tools and techniques necessary to protect not only my company's data and all of our intellectual property, but as well as our clients as well. And when clients see that, then that makes them feel more comfortable, and it makes them want to continue to do more business with you. I think when it comes to IT, especially hacking, altogether, there are a lot of different things on the back end, automated things, whether that are log files, whether that is just monitoring and scanning, things that does not require immediate action, I think should definitely be automated. So even for my section, we utilize a software called Tripwire, where it just automatically scans, our network, and to make sure that there is nothing malicious happening. I think placing automation into your infrastructure is very beneficial, but I also believe that there are things that require our direct attention. So say for instance, we set up automation to scan the network, and we receive an alert. So once we actually receive that alert, then we can actually manually go in and investigate exactly what's happening. And if it's something that requires remediation, remediate it. If it's not, then we could go ahead and just kind of move forward. So I think having that balance in between automating the things that don't really necessarily require us to have direct eyes on it, and then actually being notified of things that we do need to address will kind of make things a lot more efficient and allow us to be able to spend time on the things that are most important within the network. Well, typically, if we do receive a false positive, we just investigate. From the moment that we receive the notification, if it's something that I can do individually, I go ahead, I investigate it, and I remediate it. If it's something that will require other people from different teams, then that's when I will kind of notify those other teams, and either we will come together in a huddle, or we would just pretty much kind of direct and tell exactly what needs to be done to each team so that we can mitigate it. But typically understanding, exactly that a false positive is just that. It's not something that's necessarily bad, but it does have the potential to be bad. So just being able to investigate it and to be able to work from there is my best approach. So now currently in my new position, we are using Nessus or Tenable. I work with Tripwire, and those are the two main tools, along with other tools such as DivvyCloud. And those are the two main things that we utilize to, one, receive notification for vulnerabilities, and to be able to kind of gather all of that data and all of those notifications in one area, so that we're able to kind of like classify it and categorize, and to be able to mitigate any potential vulnerabilities and, complete any necessary things that we would need to remove those risks and vulnerabilities.